From humble beginnings as skiffle-obsessed teenagers in Liverpool, the Beatles ascended rapidly to become the most influential band the world had ever seen. In 1961, they were virtually unknown, performing in dimly lit clubs in Hamburg. But by 1963, their faces were plastered across magazines, newspapers, and posters in teenage bedrooms throughout the Western world. This meteoric rise was driven in large part by the staggering commercial success that surrounded the group during their formative years, a success largely fueled by the exceptional songwriting talents of John Lennon and Paul McCartney. It goes without saying that the Beatles rank among the most commercially successful artists in history. With 18 #1 hits in the UK and 20 in the US, not to mention their phenomenal album sales, they reshaped the music industry. Their influence sparked a major shift in how artists approach their work, prompting a wave of musicians, producers, and labels to focus on writing original songs rather than relying solely on professional songwriting teams. This shift had a ripple effect that birthed several other legendary bands. Take the Rolling Stones, for instance. Their rise to mainstream popularity began when their manager, Andrew Loog Oldham, encouraged them to start writing original material, clearly inspired by the trail the Beatles had blazed. Over the course of their relatively brief time together, the Beatles sold millions of records, all without deliberately chasing chart success. A lesser group might have clung to the sound that first brought them fame, but the Beatles continually evolved, embracing experimentation and deeper songwriting. Their willingness to innovate helped them remain commercially dominant, even as their music began to reflect psychedelic influences and shed their early pop image during the mid-1960s. Although their earliest recording, My Bonnie with Tony Sheridan, dates back to their Hamburg days, it was the release of their debut single Love Me Do that marked the beginning of their true musical legacy. Dropping in 1962 shortly after Ringo Starr joined the band, the track captured the raw energy and charm of early Beatles songs. While it only reached number 17 on the UK charts, a modest position compared to their later hits, it was a significant breakthrough for a brand new band launching their career. But which song gave them their first chart-topping hit? Though Love Me Do introduced the Beatles to UK listeners, it wasn't until April 1963 that they landed their first #1. That honor went to From Me to You, written by Lennon and McCartney while on tour supporting Helen Shapiro. The song, built on a blues-inspired framework, echoed the romantic themes common in their early work. The Beatles themselves saw this song as a milestone. Paul McCartney once shared that he realized they had truly arrived when he heard someone outside whistling the tune, first a milkman, and even, he swore, a bird. That moment confirmed just how deeply their music had permeated everyday life. While the song ignited a streak of 11 consecutive #1 singles in the UK, its success didn't immediately carry over to America. It wasn't until the band's landmark 1964 visit to the US that Beatlemania exploded across the Atlantic. Their first American chart topper, I Want to Hold Your Hand, hit #1 in January 1964 and held that position for 7 weeks.